Hello everybody, it's Sephiroth204 for another weekly update. This is Off Center. So a few things today. First of all, videos this week should continue as normal. In Final Fantasy X, we got the final Celestial Weapons. That means we're finally now ready to go to the Omega Ruins and do a whole bunch of level grinding, because it is going to be lots and lots of bosses for the rest of the series. So I'm going to try to keep the episodes consistent with that, but we'll see, because level grinding takes time and I have other responsibilities as well. In addition, in Twilight Princess, we are getting ready to go into the Snow Peak Ruins Temple, which is going to be exciting because that is also hit or miss with people. I'm still surprised at the reception that Arbiter's Grounds got. I thought people hated it a lot more than they were saying, but no, everybody enjoys it. They think that the item is neat when used right, and they enjoy the boss. So yay! I'm glad I'm not alone. But yeah, coming up we're gonna have fun times. Let's see what else. Streams should be normal this week. I don't think I have anything that would get in the way of them. Last week we did Vesperia and Baba Is You, which was very fun to stream. Even though I got really tired at the end and my brain just stopped working. But we went through it, and that was pretty fun. So this week, I think we're going to return to normal. We'll do Vesperia and Kingdom Hearts 2, unless I decide to, stream Untitled Goose Game or something. Because it's fun. It's really good. You should watch the First Impressions video. It was fun. It was really fun. So yeah, that came out on Friday along with Link's Awakening for the Switch and Ni no Kuni. I just like the reversible cover for the game box art. So I did First Impressions on Link's Awakening. I'm not doing a First Impressions on Ni no Kuni because it is literally a port of the one that I Let's Played. So if you want to see my opinions, watch the Let's Play. It's a good Let's Play. I think it is anyway. I put a lot of work into it. It was 100% Let's Play. So yeah, that was fun. Let's see. And the Switch Lite also came out on Friday, but I'm not going to be getting that because I like having a docked Switch. Now, anything else happening this week? Anything else happening this week? No, but next Sunday night, is Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. So I'm gonna talk about that at the end of the video, since I don't want to talk about it now and then just get into off-topic stuff. But in terms of things that happened this past week, there was some art that happened finally. I've been slacking, to say the least, on art. But one second. I think it'll probably be easier to just go through with this. Very professional, just looking at Twitter. Let's see. So, yeah, the first thing I did was the first Patreon reward of the month, which was Futaba Sakura from Persona 5 in her beach outfit. So yay. Let's see if the camera focuses on that. There we go. So I had a lot of fun with this one, and I think it came out really nicely. She is at a little beach scene and stuff. So yay. Next up was the Sketchtember thing, which I'm really behind for, goodness gracious. It's the 22nd now. I'm up to day 13 or something. But it was character reading, so I did Toriel from Undertale, because the day that I was doing that, which was the 15th for day 10, was Undertale's birthday. So that was good. Also, I did for day 11, which the prompt was hands, Master Hand and Crazy Hand. So I think that came out really nicely too. These are just sketches, so I'm not supposed to put in like a super giant effort. So I'm happy with just a little bit. For day 12, the prompt was comic superhero. So I did the Fat Fury. And you probably have no idea who the Fat Fury is, and that's okay. He's a comic character from, I want to say, the 70s, maybe, who was very obviously a parody character, but like, he wore, his power came from these lollipops that he ate. He always had this expression on his face, just like, but he was like super powerful, like invincible, super powerful. But his costume was like long underwear, long johns, a plunger on his head, and a cape. No socks or shoes. Like, he just had bare feet in his hands. And he just went around speaking in like monosyllabic things, just like, "I'm gonna bop you on the head with this here lollipop." It was very funny. We have the comics as from the old days. So yeah, that was that. Let's see. Just scrolling up through Twitter to see what the heck else I did this week. There was Pokemon Go stuff that happened. Gen 5 was introduced this week or last week. I have no idea, but there's Gen 5 there now. I caught an Amoonguss yesterday, which was cool. I wasn't expecting to find a wild one. Right, something else to talk about. On October 6th, which is in 2 Sundays. 3's up. Now, 2 Sundays from today, October 6th, the Sephiroth is going to be doing a Breath of the Wild race to help raise money for John's healthcare / impending MRI. So I really hope to see you there. It's going to be a good time, and the money is very important. So try to save up a little bit in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be after, the month starts, so hopefully people will get paydays and such, and, it's a good cause. It is needed. So I will see you there. There was a tweet that I retweeted from the Sephiroth. If you want to retweet that also, if you haven't already, I will be very grateful. Let's see. So anything else interesting happened to me? I had steaks this past week. Alright, MagFest hotels went on sale, and that was a disaster. I'm not going to be in National Harbor this year, which I'm extremely bummed out about, because I have a thing with taking transportation. So I'm going to have to do that. But that's life. So yeah, I'm like 10 minutes outside. So like outside of National Harbor by car. So there's that at least. So it's not too far away, but it's still a distance. But it will work out. It will work out. Just gotta believe that it'll work out, and you'll make it happen. Let's see. So I went nuts. So they put you in a randomized queue, right? So I was 5,604 out of 5,673. I was at the back of the line. Like, it wasn't just like, okay, 4,000 or something, and you're like, oh well, it was the worst RNG. Let's see. Anything else good happened though? Let's see. I got the Zelda thing came with this cool poster, so that's cool. I'm gonna put that up somewhere because I really love Link's Awakening. I love Koholint Island. I played more of it. I just beat Dungeon 2 on Friday before I had to leave, so that was good. Yeah, last week was like terrible in terms of motivation. Like, I drew the Futaba thing at the beginning of the week and did like some sketches in the middle, and then that was it. Just nothing. It was really awful, and I would like each day I would take out my drawing tablet and just stare at my computer for hours. I was like, can't do this. One of the things I did do, which doesn't look like I retweeted my art thing, but it was, no, that's not. So I was thinking on Friday also. Friday at least was busy again, which was nice. I was thinking on Friday, Bernadetta from Fire Emblem Three Houses, who's just like a shut-in, and like it's just like, please don't hurt me, like that kind of thing. Reminds me a lot of. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Reminds me a lot of Napstablook from Undertale, so I just drew Napstablook as Bernadetta with the hairstyle. Just really not feeling up to it right now, Professor. Sorry. So I thought that was a cute picture. But yeah, last night I finally was like, okay, I have a literal week to get stuff done here. So I need to finish my Patreon drawings. I still have a few left. So last night at 1 a.m. I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit down and do one of them. So the one that I had to do was Precipice Zack as Professor Hanneman from Fire Emblem. So yeah, I think that came out really nicely. I've never drawn Hanneman before, but I have drawn Precipice Zack. But I think it just, like, I kind of merged the styles of how I usually draw the Precipice characters that I'm commissioned into like a Fire Emblem-y style. Obviously the eyes aren't Fire Emblem eyes, but like the general other things are more, I don't know, I tried to meld it together and I think it worked out well. So yeah, I can actually delete that off of my little sticky note there. So now I only have 2 to draw this week, so yay. But yeah, so I have to draw them this week because next week is the end of the month already. So I think that was pretty much it for things that all these things that I've done. Yeah, nothing else this week. So, next Sunday night, is the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah. It's the New Year, which is followed the next week by Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Excuse me. And something I talk about each year. That's something that I go into each year asking people. The New Year isn't like the secular New Year. It's not just a time for party and it's like, yeah, it's over. I mean, you could do that, but the point of the New Year is the Day of Atonement. Rosh Hashanah is the Day of Judgment. It's still a holiday. On Yom Kippur, it's a fast day because we're trying to actually, feel sorry for things. We're trying to do something. But Rosh Hashanah is a day of judgment, but it's also a holiday. But it's a day where we are judged for the things that we've done in the past year. All of our deeds are written down in the Book of Merits, and all our sins are written down in the Book of Sins, I guess. We have to make an accounting of the person that we are. And one of the things that our rabbis teach us, rabbis of old teach us, is that, on these days, on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, where, we get the forgiveness as opposed to the judgment, you're absolved of your sins between yourself and God, sins of ritual or practice or whatever, things that you don't do to other people, things in private, but you are not absolved of sins between you and your fellow man until you actually get forgiveness from the person you wronged. You can't just steal from somebody and say, I'm sorry, God. It doesn't work that way. So something I ask every year is that if there's something that I've done to you, if you feel wronged or slighted, please let me know. I want to try to fix it. I want to try to be better. And from experience, if you don't say something, aside from the fact that, like, that means I don't get forgiven, and that's not good for me, it doesn't end well down the line. There's been a few people already. A few people this year. I don't want to sound like I'm being bitter towards them. This is a stated fact, and I'm not talking about a specific person with this, but there have been a few people who are like, yeah, you did this one thing a few years ago, and I've been asking people to say something for a few years, but there's one thing you did a few years ago, and I really held it against you all this time, and it's been eating away at me. And I say, Every year I ask, and I don't always know. And some of these things are things that I should have known, and some of these things are things that I had no idea because it was either a misunderstanding or I just wasn't paying enough attention to a situation, and the situation passed by and it was never brought up again. So I'm not laying the blame specifically at the people. I'm just saying there's a reason why I say this, and I say this because it's not just I'm saying, oh, please forgive me. These things fester, and then we all can agree at the end of the day, with the people that have eventually brought things to me, we can all agree at the end of the day that maybe we shouldn't have let it go this far. So since I'm apparently not the one that's able to know what's wrong, and you are, I need you to make that step. Because when things fester, you either, build up an entire, hatred of somebody, and this is not just with your friends, this is with anybody. If you let things fester, it builds, and it eats away at you, and it's a poison. It's a poison in you, and it can destroy your outlook on yourself. It can destroy your outlook on people in general, and it's not good. It's not good to keep things bottled up like that. You can also tell yourself, is this the right time to say it? And that's very important. Timing of these types of things is very important. If someone is having a terrible time in their life, and you just come to them and say, here are all the things that I hate about you, and I think that you need a change, that's not good timing, and you can make it worse. But it's still important that you recognize when is a good time and say something, because otherwise life is just going to get out of control. But yeah, I'm remaining specifically vague because I don't want to make people who watch this, who may be part of that group of people that I've talked to this year over things that I might have done or have done. I don't want you to feel bad for saying things. But there were several instances with several people this year specifically. This year was a year, but this year specifically, since last Rosh Hashanah, where they didn't just come to me originally and it became a problem. It didn't just become uncomfortable, it became a problem which could have easily been solved by saying, hey, did you mean to do X, Y, and Z? And I would say no. And they would say, oh, well, I didn't feel I felt really bad about it. And I would say, I am sorry. I didn't intend to it, but I am sorry that I did this to you. Let me make sure that I can not do it again, or try to not do it again, because Lord knows I'm not a perfect person. And there's many times where I just shut myself off and not deal with people, especially lately, which I'm sorry for. But there are times where I'm just not smart or not cognizant of the things that I'm doing, or not there enough. And if you start holding things against people without their knowledge, then they don't know how to improve. So the point of this is, I've made mistakes this year. if there's something specific that's really eating away at you that you think would have been a problem or something, or will be a problem, or is something that I continuously do, please let me know. I will try to address it. Please let me know politely, though. I respond very well to people being polite. I do not respond to people yelling at me, because when someone yells, your first instinct is to go into defensive mode, and then nothing happens. Because you're like, well, oh, I'm not the worst person in the world. You can't just say that to me. Now I'm going to prove to you that I'm not by getting into an argument. I don't like arguing. I don't like being yelled at, but I'm very open to people having a conversation with me. Even if it's not an easy conversation, but anyway, so I'm very unhappy with a lot of things that happened this past year, like since last Jewish New Year. I'm extremely unhappy with how a lot of things went down. And the only thing I can do is just try to be better. You know, unfortunately, the things that you do are there forever. You know, you can ask forgiveness from someone, but whatever you say to a person and whatever you do to a person, they will never forget that. They can't. It's just the brain does that to you. Even if you make up with a person and you're good, or you agree to disagree and part ways with somebody, they won't forget the things that you said to them. And I think about that a lot. There's things that people say to me that every time they talk to me again, like, that's the first thing that pops into my head, is that one time that they said something nasty. I just have to push it away. But the fact that you have to push it away isn't good. You know, the best situation is if you've never done anything wrong to a person in the first place. But life is just a constant struggle of paying for your past mistakes. So yeah. But if you don't try to rectify those mistakes, they'll get worse. And then whatever that person remembers will just get worse. And then, you know, you just reap what you sow in that. You always reap what you sow. You set things up, and then you lose control. I'm very unhappy with this past year. I smile because I'm laughing at myself, or I'm angry at myself. But yeah. It's crazy times. But anyway, yeah, so for those of you who don't have like a specific gripe that you want to tell me, but maybe there's just something, I apologize. I'm sorry. I really am. I try to think about the things that I do. A lot of people just go through life and they're like, whatever. I try to think about the things I do, which more often than not just leads to me not doing things, which can also be a problem. But, you know, I find that sometimes saying nothing is better than saying something empty. But that's not usually what a person needs to hear. It's hard to gauge sometimes, but I don't like it when people just talk for the sake of talking. But yeah, there's a cave cricket on my window, and I'm on the second story, or the second floor of the house. How the heck did it get out there? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Here's hoping for good times in the future. Here's hoping for a time where some of us, I'm not talking about myself this time, some of us can have a little bit of peace and quiet. Because, man, life has been very hard on a lot of people I know lately, and you need a break. here's hoping that break comes soon. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Zack Rhodes 4 with the weekly update. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.